In today's video, we're going to examine the relationship between translational and rotational velocity.
Okay, here we go. Focus. Speed. I am speed.
For this experiment, we marked out two circular courses that Joaquin and I would each run. However, the radius of my circle was only 15 feet, while the radius of Joaquin's circle was 25 feet. We then each ran 2.5 laps of our respective courses. Translational velocity is basically a specification of an object's direction and speed, velocity, in a straight line. So in essence, if that 2.5 times circumference were unraveled into one straight line, who would win that race? Rotational velocity refers to how an object revolves around a certain middle point, like the center of a circle. In essence, who goes from 0 degrees all the way around to 360 degrees the fastest. In our case, 900 degrees because of the 2.5 laps. Let's get to the racing. We then repeated this race 2 more times so that we would have 3 total trials and could have an accurate average result. We found that it took me approximately 27 seconds to complete my 2.5 laps, and Joaquin about 30 seconds to complete his 2.5 laps. In our defense, we were purposefully running kind of slow, just for physics sake. We'd break the sound barrier if we ran as fast as we could. Obviously. To measure the distance that each of us ran, we used the circumference of the circle times 2.5, since we each ran 2.5 laps. For me, since my radius was 15 feet, we'd get 30 pi times 2.5 feet. Since Joaquin's radius was 25 feet, we get 50 pi times 2.5. Those values come out to be approximately 236 feet distance-wise for me, and approximately 393 feet for Joaquin. We then took that distance total and divided it by the average time it took each of us to complete our circle, because velocity equals distance divided by time. We found that I ran approximately 8 feet per second and Joaquin ran approximately 13 feet per second. Thus, I had a velocity of approximately 2.660 meters per second and Joaquin had a velocity of 3.981 meters per second. So even though I finished first for all 3 of our trials, Joaquin was actually the one who was running faster. With these newfound translational velocities, we can determine our respective rotational velocities using the equation v equals omega r, or translational velocity equals rotational velocity times radius. We simply set omega as equal to v divided by r. With our differing radii, I had a rotational velocity of 0.1773 radians per second, and Joaquin had a rotational velocity of 0.1593 radians per second. It makes sense that the person who won the race had a greater rotational velocity because I revolved around that point the quickest in 2.5 laps and thus was able to finish first. Thus, we can see the difference between translational and rotational velocity. Even though I had the greater rotational and ended up winning the race because I had a smaller distance, Joaquin ran the fastest. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and I just want to say hats off to a great year of physics.
Good run, man. Good run.
Ka-chow. And Joaquin had 3.891. 981. Dang it. They cost you twice. 0.15. Nah. Man. Because the equation for rotational radii. Oh. Kabow! Oh, my bad.